Hi. In this video, I'm going to talk about manipulation and what soft manipulation is. First of all, it is good to know that everybody who uses a clumsy way of communicating are not manipulating us. I mean, there are some people who just talk in a way which is not really beautiful, but it doesn't mean that you're trying to manipulate us. What I want to talk about here is psychological manipulation, which is different kind of tactics used by the same person, and it is systematic. With systematic, I mean that it is used for a longer time, just because they want to win something, and that. First of all, manipulation is something where a manipulator trying to seize power and control over a victim. It could be because they have something that they are scared to lose, and that's why they want to bring you down so that you cannot. I mean, it's because the fears of losing something that they manipulate you. For example, in a relationship, if being manipulated from your partner, it could be that bringing you down and never get a compliment, or that dress make you feel fat, or it could be that you want to start a new career or something new, and your partner is not supportive because they are so scared of losing you, and that's why they use different kind of methods to control you so that they don't lose their something that is beneficial for them. So there are different, there are a lot of different tactics in manipulation, and I cannot take them all of them here. So I thought I will just focus on a few things which are quite common when it comes to manipulation. First of all, it is the hidden agenda. That means that a person who is trying to manipulate you, collecting a lot of information about you. It could be anything that you do in your spare time, or something that you do for your hobby or your work or anything. And then they collect this information and use it against you. That could be like in a workplace. It's just an example. They can collect information which could be hurtful. I mean, and you just think, oh my God, and start talking about a student or somebody which is bothering you. And then they just take all the information and take it to your boss, just to say that you have said that. And when any information comes from different kind of sources, it becomes a little bit different, and then that could be more damageable. So instead of talking in front of you, they talk behind your back with somebody else just to destroy you. So the hidden agenda is something which is quite common when it comes to manipulation. That could be like, wow, you train so much, and do you do that always in your lunch break? And I'm like, yeah, I do that maybe 3 times a week. And that can be very, they can just take that information to the third person, like, okay, she is not working, she is just training all the time when she's here. So it could be something like that they collect information not just because they are interested in you, but to use that information to talk behind your back. So the other method or tactic which is used in manipulation is blaming the victim. That could be that when you get angry, or you just show emotions, and the manipulator will tell you that you are very emotional, that you are being too sensitive about that. Let me take you the Donald Trump example, when he got very upset because he couldn't answer the question for the journalist. So what he did was to tell the journalist that you're fake, all your community is fake. So when they don't have enough, when they cannot tell you why they are doing what they are doing, it could be just that they're using different methods to bring you down. In that case, you will just shut up, because if you try to have a conversation with somebody and talk to them about your feeling, and they just go around to tell you that you are no, now you are being too emotional, or why are you fighting with me, or you are being fake. Stuff like that can make you just shut up and not say anything. So that's a technique which manipulators use to gain control, and thus blaming the victim. Another way of another technique which is used in manipulation could be raising the voice method. So when you speak with somebody and when the argument is a little bit hot and you both want to say something and you try to tell the manipulator that I'm feeling like that, and when they don't have argument to meet you, then they just what they do is to just raise their voice. I mean, that is a method to have control over the situation. When they raise their voice, then they can shut you up. And in a society where it is more, I mean, it is easier for a man to raise a voice than a woman. So if you are a woman and you raise your voice, then you will not be accepted as or respected. But if you're a man and you raise your voice, then you will be more respected, and you will just, okay, sorry, I will lay back and I will not say anything. Pardon me. So that is also a method which is used by manipulators. So what is soft manipulation? So soft manipulation, which I'm so interested in when it comes to manipulation in psychology, it is that it is different kind. I mean, it is not that obvious that common manipulation, but it is used to bring you down, and sometimes you don't even know what's happening. I mean, you cannot point fingers. If somebody raised their voice, you can just say, hey, oh my God, what are you doing? Just calm down. But soft manipulation is that you cannot point fingers, but you go from that situation feeling very bad about yourself. It could be like anything like sarcasm. I mean, in Freudian psychology, they say that irony and sarcasm is a softer form of aggression. So that means that if you use sarcasm, you use aggression, but you don't use aggression because it's not socially acceptable. So what you do is just to make it softer and then show it with sarcasm. So they could use sarcasm too often when it comes to anything. It could be your taste of music, it could be what you eat, it could be your lifestyle, it could be anything, and they can just say, oh my God, and I do that, and what did you do? So sarcasm is one way of soft manipulation which is used by manipulators, and it's nothing that a person who like you will use, believe me. Other method of soft manipulation could be that to correct you. I mean, it could be if you say something, they just wait for you to say something wrong, and then they correct you, and then they feel better about themselves. It could be things like it could be anything like I mean, also collecting information about you, but this information is used just to make themselves feel better. It's like, oh my God, how was your weekend? And you just want to start telling them about your weekend, and in 2 minutes, you know that they are not interested. They just put on their headphones or try to look at the telephone. But when they speak, they expect you to listen. So whenever you want to talk, they have never time for you to listen. But whenever they talk, they want you to listen to that because they are so important. So that's also a form of soft manipulation which is used. Belittling is another thing which is I've been very interested in reading about. It is when you make somebody feel less than they actually are. It could be like two psychology teachers in the school, and when they talk about a psychology teacher, you sit in front of them, but instead of referring to you, they can refer to somebody else, which also have psychology. That happened to me in my life, and that was so interesting because I have studied psychology for like 3 years, and after that I was teaching in that for 7 years. And there was a colleague who started to study psychology, and everybody was like, oh my god, he's studying psychology, it's going to be so interesting, we can go to him and talk about our problems. I'm like, hello, I'm here. But that method is a little bit silly, but it's something which is used when it comes to soft manipulation. So that's it for this video. I hope you like it, and if you like it, just give a thumb up, and why not subscribe? Thank you.